Good morning. It is Saturday, 8:45. I think I'm going to be running a little bit late for the shakeout run. Weather is cooperating. There was about a 50% chance of rain today. It's very humid right now, about 70 degrees, so I'm dressed a little bit too warm for the conditions, but it doesn't look like it's raining now. Hopefully it'll continue to cooperate for the rest of the run. I have no idea how many people are going to come today. I'm thinking maybe like 5 or 6 people. So we'll see if we get that many. Last time I thought that at Chicago we had a lot more, but Chicago's a bigger race and that's my hometown. So I don't know what to really expect, but I'm hoping to get out there, get some nerves out. I got a lot of nervous energy right now, and then hopefully have a good time and meet a lot of you guys there. All right, so the moment I stopped filming that last clip, it started raining, and the path that Google Maps was taking me to get there by walking didn't have any sidewalks on a very busy road. So I'm going to try and improvise. We'll see what happens, but I think just to keep it safe, I'm going to jog on the way to the shakeout run. Not ideal, but it's all right, it happens. Great run, everybody.
Yeah. Thank you.
Great to meet you all.
Good luck tomorrow.
Thanks.
Yeah, good luck.
Thanks.
Hopefully this is find you a comfortable.
Great to meet you guys.
Nice to meet you, Mike.
Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you guys.
Good one. Good one.
Nice to run with you. Sure, thanks again. Yeah, let's get a group photo. Should we go like over towards that thing over there? Just got dropped off by the Uber, and now I'm gonna Whole Foods, pick up a couple more things to eat for today, some more snacks for the room, and then I'll head back. But I gotta eat some food, so I'm hoping there's a nice hot bar so I can get some food, and then we'll see what other snacks I can eat today. 4.60 miles, 9 minutes, 40 seconds per mile, 140 beats per minute on a shakeout run with the Kofuzi Run Club in Houston, getting ready for the Houston Marathon, and some of us running the half marathon tomorrow morning. Now, it was a little bit longer of a run than I normally would kind of pick for a shakeout run at about 3.5 miles total, but we were running around the park, and like it just made for a more natural kind of turnaround point. And it was a nice, easy run today, and I felt like everyone was enjoying the conversation. So I think it went really well. It was great to see you guys meeting each other and talking to each other. For me to get to meet you guys and to have you guys come and join me as I went for a run. Otherwise, it would have just been kind of like me by myself, randomly just running around the streets of downtown Houston. So this was much better. I always love a chance to meet you guys, whether it's at the run club or as I'm seeing you like at the expo and you guys are stopping me for selfies and just to say hi. I love it. It's very flattering to me, and still very like unusual for me to do that. So very much a surreal surprise. And I just love being able to do that and to meet you guys. But today what I wanted to do, it is actually going to be the second video of the day, but I felt like, I got some questions about it during the run, and I've been getting some people asking me about it on Instagram and on Twitter in terms of what race strategy should be. So I thought I would go over my race strategy. Not that it's necessarily going to be the same as your race strategy, but to give you an idea of the rationales for why I do stuff. And then with those rationales, hopefully you can then tweak them and tinker with them to make it fit for yourself. So today what I'm doing is the shakeout run. Then the rest of the day I'm gonna try to spend kind of off my feet and just relax, spend a lot of time in bed in the hotel room, just not doing much. I might leave the hotel again later on today to get some more coffee or maybe another snack. But after the run, I did go down to Whole Foods. I took an Uber over there and got a whole bunch of food there for kind of breakfast / lunch. It was about 10:30 by the time I got there. And then also bought some other food. I just got a whole bunch of stuff from the pasta bar. It was cold, but I think I'm gonna just warm it up and eat it as a warm dinner for dinner later on tonight. I was really hungry though. So I had initially bought a lunch, rice and 3 different kinds of Indian foods like curries. And that was delicious. And then I had bought a container of some vegetable like sushi rolls, and I was gonna have that as like an afternoon snack, and then have the pasta salads for dinner. And I still have some snacks from the grocery trip yesterday, but I was just so hungry after eating my lunch that I just ate kind of my afternoon snack as well, and that's okay. I felt like listening to the body is a good idea, and I did that. So that's kind of my idea for meals for today. I don't really like to carb load, like have a giant meal the night before, because for me, in my mind, that just guarantees that I'm gonna have a giant poop some point during the run, and I don't want to do that. So I like to eat more like earlier in the day rather than have a giant meal at night. And I'm just gonna try to get a lot of sleep, or at least relax, shut everything off, shut the TV off, shut the phones off. Even if I'm not sleeping, at least have everything kind of be as quiet as it can be so I can at least relax. Tomorrow morning, the temperatures are supposed to be in the 40s. It was really humid today. Crazy humid and hot, 70 degrees and humid, and I was not dressed for it. But it's going to be 40s, they say, tomorrow morning, with up to the 50s by the time I'm like done with the race, like around 10 or hopefully not that far after 10 o'clock, because the race starts at 7. And so that's kind of ideal temperatures to race a marathon in. The start, though, is a little bit chilly for me, and that's about what the temperatures were like at the Chicago Marathon last October, and I definitely felt cold, and I had a hard time getting my feet warm. My feet felt numb for the first 5 miles, and I felt like I just couldn't shake the chill for most of the race, and I felt like my body was spending a lot of energy staying warm. Now, a lot of people are going to take 40 degrees and run in shorts and singlets, and that's fine for them, but I've been telling you guys all winter long that as much as I love running outside in the winter temperatures, I'm the first one to get cold and I'm the last one to warm back up. So I'm going to dress a little bit warmer tentatively right now. And I'm going to check. I'll probably step outside the hotel once or twice tonight just to get a gauge for that cold front coming in. And I'll do it once or twice in the morning, really early, right when I wake up tomorrow. I'm leaning towards long tights. I brought a very thin pair, and then shorts, and then either a t-shirt or maybe even a long sleeve. I have that thin long sleeve that I tested out a little while ago specifically for this purpose, specifically with this weather in mind. It's extremely thin and it's very well ventilated. So it's kind of like, I was thinking if I did a t-shirt with regular sleeves, I might do arm sleeves anyway. I also did bring half tights and a tank top. So I'm still, all that's going to be available to me as options. It's going to be a game time decision. I'm definitely start out with some thin gloves, but I'll wear a regular ball cap, not like a winter hat. I think that I'll be fine in terms of the ears and the head. So that's my general game plan for kind of attire. Then in terms of food, so normally I like to have like toast with almond butter and jelly and a lot of coffee before a race. I don't have access to the, I guess I could do like room service or something like that here, but instead I'm just gonna eat some Cliff Bars. I actually stole these from work. These are ones that I've been really liking lately because they have 9 grams of protein in each bar, and so that's something I feel like is an indicator to me of a little bit more substance rather than just plain sugars. So I feel like hopefully it has a little bit more staying power. And the other reason why I'm going to go with bars tomorrow, I'll have one probably when I wake up, and I'll bring one in my gear check bag, and I'll have that like as close to the race as possible, is because what I've realized is that for all of my long runs and my hardest runs, I haven't like eaten like an hour beforehand or a half hour beforehand. I usually like stuff food in my mouth, wash it down with like whatever's left of my coffee cup, and then head out the door and go for my run, usually because I'm running a little bit late in the morning. So I'm going to try to do like the same thing. I'm also just worried that I'm going to be hungry, and so I'm going to bring 3 more snacks. These don't have quite as much protein, although these are protein bites from Enjoy Life. These are really dense. Again, I kind of want something with a little bit more staying power, something that's going to sit in my stomach a little bit longer. I'm a little bit different than most runners, I think, in that regard. A lot of runners want things that are going to be really light and not affect their GI. I have like a rock solid stomach, like a steel gut. And so I want stuff that's going to be in there for a long time and keep me from feeling hungry, because that's something that I experience a lot. These 3 snacks, incidentally, all happen to be peanut allergy safe. These Enjoy Life products are free from most of the main allergens. Blake's seed-based bars are made with seeds, and I like them for that. This is something my wife discovered because we're always looking for peanut-free snacks in our home. And then 88 Acres is another peanut-free option for those of you who have peanut allergies. This is one that I also really like. What I love about these, Blake seed-based and the 88 Acres, is that there are snacks that are safe for me to keep at home, even with my daughter's peanut allergy. And the kids don't like these ones as much, although they like this one. This flavor, it's s'more snack bar. They'll eat this one, but they don't like these as much. So I get to actually eat them. And so I'm going to bring those with me. I'll either have them while I'm sitting around at the expo center tomorrow morning and waiting, or I'll have them right after the race just to get something back into my system. So that's kind of my nutrition plan for the morning. I'll definitely have at least 1 cup of coffee. I might even grab a second one. But probably just one, drink a little bit of water. I don't really generally feel the need to like overhydrate or over carb load the night before a race. That's just been my experience. I've never really felt it necessary. One thing I will try to do is eat a little bit more salt today, see if I can like electrolyte load. In terms of during the race. So I think I'm going to just stick with 2 types of gels, and I'm going to be bringing 5 of them. So here are the gels that I'm going to bring. I'm bringing 3 of the Huma Chia Plus and 2 of the Goo Roctane. This is like the chocolate coconut. Yeah, chocolate coconut. Both of these have caffeine. These have 35 milligrams. These have 25 milligrams. I find that that's a good number. Anything more than that, and I'm pretty caffeine desensitized. I drink caffeine all the time. So I'm not sensitive to caffeine at all. I think I've used those words correctly. But I don't feel caffeine really all that much at all. But what I do notice is that when I'm running, if I have 50 milligrams, then I feel like a caffeine bump. And I feel like it's made my energy levels a little bit different, which is good and bad because it feels good when you've got it. And then I feel a little bit of a crash from it, like a mini crash. 100 makes me a little bit jittery sometimes. Sometimes I don't feel it at all. I don't know, it's inconsistent. But 25 and 35 are just the right amount for me to do what I want caffeine to do during a race, which is to keep my mind sharp. And so the real way that I kind of experience the need for caffeine is that there'll be times when you're running on a long run, and let's say I didn't bring any gels with me on the run, and I might like suddenly just realize, oh, I just spent the last 45 seconds going too fast, or I spent the last 45 seconds going way too slow. I got to pick it back up. Like you kind of daydream, or your mind like wanders for a little bit. And I think that's just the fatigue setting in and your mind is just elsewhere. And so I feel like the caffeine helps like bring everything back into the forefront and back into focus. So having 5 of those that I'm going to have about every 4 to 5 miles is generally the plan. I'm not going to eat any gels before the race. That's what the extra bars like these are for. So I'll have those 5 during the race. Hopefully I won't need more than that. And then the hydration plan, Gatorade Endurance is what's on the course. I like Gatorade Endurance in terms of the liquid because it has sugar and it has a good amount of salt. As do these gels that I'm bringing, they also have a good amount of salt. These have 245 milligrams in them each. This has 125 milligrams in them. I'm kind of gonna alternate. So like every hour, I will have about 245 plus you're getting about 200 milligrams of sodium in the Gatorade. If you're taking it every other station, there's a good number of salt in terms of my needs as a heavy sweater for the marathon. The stations are going to be every mile and a half. So I feel like I'm going to go with every other station, and that should kind of space things out. I generally slow down just a little bit as I go through the stations because I want to make sure I'm getting all that liquid into my system, because there won't be another one for another 3 miles. Other than that, my pacing strategy is I'm kind of going to make it up as I go. So this entire marathon training block, I have been training under a low heart rate technique. I've never raced a marathon with that kind of technique. I haven't even raced a race with this kind of technique. So I don't really know exactly what to expect. I have some ideas from some of the long runs that I've done, but I'm not exactly sure. So the ultimate game plan today is there's a 3 hour and 5 minute pace group and a 3 hour and 10 minute pace group. I'm going to stand kind of in the middle between them, probably closer to the 3:10 to the 3:05. I'm going to run, and after the first 10K, about 6 miles, I'll reevaluate. How am I feeling? Trying to run, hopefully, in the middle between those pace groups at a heart rate of about 163 beats per minute. So somewhere between 160, 165. If that's happening at that 10K mark, then I'll probably just stay there. If my heart rate is still staying pretty low and I'm staying in between that range, I might creep up. If my heart rate is really high to stay in that spot, I might creep back and run with the 3:10 pace group. So that's kind of what I'm going to be doing throughout. By the time I get to the halfway point, I'm hoping that my heart rate is somewhere around 165. By 18 miles, 20 miles, I'm going to be hoping my heart rate is around 168. Because I think that once I hit like 168 to 170, that's when my body starts to go aerobic. And so I know that I can run for a while, several miles, at 170, 172, 173 beats per minute. But I don't exactly know what pace that corresponds to after 20 miles of activity. So whatever pace that is, I think that's kind of going to be how I do it. And hopefully, I'm kind of guessing at those numbers, but hopefully if those numbers are lining up right, that brings me at a pace that is consistent, or whatever the pace is, I don't care. But I'm hoping that I do care, but that's not relevant to kind of the test that this marathon is for me. What I'm hoping is that by running with that strategy, starting in like the low 60s and creeping up to the low to mid 170s by the end of the race, that by the end of the race, I feel like I'm completely spent and that I don't have too much in reserve, or that I haven't pushed too hard and have hit the wall at all. So that's the ultimate goal, is to figure out what's the total amount of running that I can do and to deplete all of it by the end in a way that maximizes time. So that's the ultimate goal. That's the pacing strategy. That's the nutrition strategy. That's the pre-race nutrition strategy. I didn't do warm-up. Warm-up, I'm going to try and get to the expo really early. My last call for my corral, I'm in corral A, is 6:45 in the morning. I was thinking I would get there at 6, but I've been talking with some other local runners here, and they're talking about getting there really early, like before 5:30. So I might move that up a little bit. I think part of my warm-up is going to be a light jog to get to the race. And here's the bag that they gave for bag check, and it's giant, which is great because marathoners have a lot of stuff that they need before and after. And what's nice is there's these little cinch clips on it, which every check bag that's of this size should have that. It's really great. So I'm probably going to lightly jog to the race start, which is about a mile from here, a little bit more. To get to the race, that'll be part of my warm-up. Then I'll get in there, relax for a little while, and then try to get another 10 to 15 minutes of warm-up in before I have to go back outside and into the corrals. In between then, I'll just be listening to music, trying to get my mind right, saying hi to as many of you guys as I can, because that definitely invigorates and it energizes me, makes me feel great. So I'd love to be able to say hi to any of you guys that are there early, hang out, chat, trade notes, that kind of thing. And that'll be the race. After the race, I am going to be wearing, in terms of layers before then, I'm going to have my non-elite hoodie. Where did I put it? Right here. My non-elite hoodie is going to be part of my race gear that I wear out to the starting line, and it's one of those layers that I'm going to toss before I start. I have the pants that I wore to the shakeout run today. They're a little bit sweaty, but hopefully by tomorrow they'll be fine enough to wear for my warm-up pants, and those again will be tossed as well. The zipper is broken on one of the pockets anyway, so I'll do that. So that's going to hopefully keep me warm before I have to shed all my layers for the race. Afterwards, I've got another pair of like jogging pants, and I'll probably put this on, this long sleeve zip up on afterwards to keep warm, and so that'll be in my race bag as well. I always like to have also a recovery drink, where's that? It's over there. I have my Univet recovery drink that I'll have some of that afterwards. And I'll have another pair of shoes that are not race shoes, that are a little bit more comfortable to walk around in for after the race. So I think that's everything from today, tonight, tomorrow morning, the race, and after the race. If you have any other questions about race plans, first, if you have a coach, ask your coach what your coach thinks you should do. But if you have any other questions, I'll be happy to answer them the best that I can. And I know there's lots of people that are in the comments that have a lot of experience, especially with this particular course, that I'm sure can also give a lot of great advice as well. So check down in the comments below, not only just to ask a question, but to see what other people are talking about, because you might find out new information that you hadn't even considered. So definitely it's been really great to see the community that's developing in those comment sections, and it's just been really I think helpful to a lot of us runners out there. So that's all I have for today. The rest of the day is going to be editing this video and then just relaxing. I'm not going to like put myself on bed rest, but I am going to try to relax a little bit and just memory load myself with all the hard workouts that I've already done, and just get mentally ready and remember how strong I am, and that I got to load myself up with memories and things that I'm going to be able to reflect on when the going gets tough, because it definitely will. So that's my plan for tonight, and that's all I have for today's video. Thanks for making it all the way to the end, and the next time I see you, I'll be showing you footage from the Houston 2020 Marathon.
Yo, what's going on?